Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here, you can lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Get ready for the most massive madness party in Las Vegas. Join us March 19th through the 21st right here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. It's 3 straight days of massive video screens, massive food and drink specials, massive access to betting windows and kiosks. The only thing that's not massive is the price. Free parking and entry as always. Tip off to the madness starts right here at South Point Hotel and Casino, March 19th through the 21st.
Let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. A lot to get to on today's show. We've got games to go over for tonight. We've got look-ahead games for tomorrow in college basketball and potentially even hockey. So a lot to get to. Excited to be here. I'm Alex Way alongside Ryan McCormick. This is Sports by the Book show live from the South Point Hotel and Casino 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Pacific time. The second half of the show, Vinny Maiulo will be joining us on the desk. So we'll get his thoughts from behind the counter, how things are going here, and anything to keep an eye on moving forward with conference tournaments underway just a little over a week before Selection Sunday. So as I mentioned, a lot to get to. Ryan, let's start off with some trends from yesterday on the ice and the hardwood. And it was just a very weird, bizarre hockey day.
It was a terrible day to take underdogs on the hockey board yesterday. We'll start there with our trends brought to you by the South Point Sportsbook. In 8 games in the NHL yesterday, favorites went 7-1 straight up. All 8 games had a puck line covered.
Wow.
The one reverse puck line would be the Winnipeg Jets hosting the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we pointed out that Winnipeg would be some value beating the Lightning. Didn't end up including it on our whiteboards, but that was the only underdog to win outright yesterday, and they cover a reverse puck line. Totals in the NHL yesterday: 3 and 5, 3 overs, 5 unders. If you like betting the home versus away, home beat the away teams 27-23, meaning that we got 50 total goals, and the Grand Salami goes over by a half. Listed at 49.5 here at the South Point, it goes over with the total of 50. You were laying a minus 105, so it was the slightly less juiced. The underdog, sure, there for the Grand Salami. Going to the hardwood, where it was a phenomenal day to take the underdogs there. Only against the spread, though, not so much on the money line, except for the Warriors, who ruined my Rockets-Nuggets parlay there. And yeah, not a great day on the whiteboard. Anyway, we'll start in the NBA. 9 games yesterday. 6-3 were favorites straight up. 4-5 against the spread, and 3-6 were the totals. 3 overs, 6 unders there. Going to men's college basketball. 46 games yesterday. 29-17 straight up were the favorites. 13, 32, and 1 against the spread, though. So a great day for some close basketball games, especially now that we're here in conference tournament time. But totals, 23 and 23. So right down the middle, tied there on the totals. There was only one big money line underdog to win outright, and that would be Louisiana Tech, a plus 350 money line there on the road at Liberty. They win by 5, 76-71. We did see 5 underdogs win in conference tournaments, priced underdogs in conference tournaments. So we start in the Missouri Valley Conference with the number 9 seed Drake taking down the number 8 seed Southern Illinois, 76-73. Drake was a plus 180 on the money line there. We go to the MAAC, Mid-Atlantic Metro, one of the two, whatever. It's
Metro.
the MAC. Yeah. The MAC, double A. This number 9 seed Sacred Heart takes down Iona, the 8 seed there, getting plus 145 on that money line. They win by 11, 91-80. Then we go to both the Sunbelt games yesterday, where the underdog wins outright. Seeding was a little different there. So the 8 seed Southern Miss was an underdog to the 9 seed James Madison, getting plus 110 on that money line. The 10 seed Georgia Southern won outright against the 7 seed Arkansas State. Georgia Southern was getting plus 280 on the money line, so almost got mentioned in that big underdog segment earlier. And then we go to the WCC here in Las Vegas, where the 11 seed San Diego takes down the 10 seed Loyola Marymount, 66-62. San Diego was a plus 230 on that money line. And then to finally wrap things up with some spring training games yesterday, even though we're all kind of distracted by the WBC games going on. 14 spring training games, 6 and 8 straight up were the favorites. So another good day to take the underdogs outright. 11 of those 14 games had a run line covered, 5 of which were reverse. 9 of those 14 games go over the total, 5 go under. And another just fun point to make, 9 of the 28 teams in spring training action yesterday scored double-digit runs, combining for 133 runs by those 9 teams. The other 19 teams combined for 82 runs. So 10 more teams scored 51 less runs than the 9 teams that scored double digits in their games yesterday. There were some jokes on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, saying that that Major League Baseball was trying out some new balls in those games. So for the juice in the ball crowd out there, you sure were good on the overs yesterday.
And Ryan, you are wearing a green Aviators jersey, and I have a feeling that has to do with this weekend coming up here in Las Vegas.
I'll do my unbuttoned bit here now, I guess, because we got Big League Weekend. Oh my God, one more. One more. Yeah, Big League Weekend coming up. Angels, A's here in Las Vegas. I will have the honor of pushing the buttons with our crew on the in-house. We are also getting to do the stream, so if you're not watching the WBC or you want to watch 3+ outs of spring training baseball between the Angels and A's, I will be the one gifting you what cameras you're looking at. So really honored to be able to do that and really excited for it. So
if you are in Vegas and you're looking to go, I would get your tickets ASAP because they are looking to sell out. Heard that from Jim Gemma. So yeah, I would get on that now. I will be there Sunday as a fan watching. So it should be a lot of fun. Excited about that. I wanted to hit that now because I tend to forget certain things. And we were talking about baseball, which we won't be talking too much about from here on out. I feel honored to have gotten my St. Joseph's home, laying the points. You said 13 favorites covered. That is pretty wild night. Good night on the hardwood. Did get my dog home as well, but 2-2 there, 0-3 on the ice. So didn't realize I said bizarre night, and that's because we've been looking for some value with some dogs and a lot of favorites. We probably got too cute because, I mean, you had Columbus, but that was, I mean, we can see what Florida's doing at this point. That was probably a good puck line that we could have jumped on. And then a couple others, too, that I think probably overlooked. And we definitely should have stuck with it, saying there was some value there with the Jets. Hellebuck is playing like the gold medalist that he is. Yeah. So any opportunity that we think with the Jets, and he's getting the goal support, which is very important. So, okay, well, let's dive into hockey. Is there any trades that happened that you want to touch on before we even dive into these games?
The first one to point out would be the Chicago Blackhawks this morning trade their captain, Nick Foligno, to the Minnesota Wild. So in division rivalry there. But he does get to team up with his brother. So the Foligno brothers both now in Minnesota. Nick gets to he's kind of at the end of his career. So looking forward to make this final cup run here with his brother. The Hawks will now be without their captain. They gave Connor Bedard the honor of wearing the A the last couple of nights after making a different trade and getting rid of Jason Dickinson. So it might be sooner rather than later that we see Bedard wearing the C,
Wow.
kind of taking over in that Jonathan Taves role. Kind of seeing that first round pick turning into the franchise star there. So we'll make another mention of that. That's the third game that we'll talk about here this morning. But we'll start in Detroit, where those Panthers are on the road against the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings minus 145 on the money line, plus 125 for the Panthers, and a 6 is the total, 110 both ways.
Want to just double check here. It looks like it is likely Bobrovsky, but I don't know for sure, or I don't know if Tarasov's going back to back here. But Florida losers of 5 straight. Detroit not great coming into this one. I didn't really find anything. I've got Detroit minus 145 and the total 6.23. So 6 over minus 123. Maybe a little bit of a lean there, but anything jump out to you, Ryan? And probably have the head-to-heads between these two.
So it's the second of 4 meetings between these two teams. It's a weird sandwich spot for the Red Wings, and it's a unconventional home and home here for the Panthers. So the first meeting was won by the Red Wings 4-1, but that was back in the middle of October, so not much to take into account there. As I mentioned, the kind of home and home and back-to-back. So the Panthers will play the Red Wings tonight. They will play the Red Wings on Tuesday. They have no game in between. So the next 4 days they're off, and then they get to see this same team, but in their home barn. The Red Wings, however, will be playing against the New Jersey Devils. So this is the last of 2 at home. They now start a 4-game road trip after this, starting in New Jersey. Then they go down to Florida. So they get the Devils between. Then they meet up with this Panthers team again for their third of 4 meetings this year. It is the second of a back-to-back here for the Florida Panthers. The Panthers are 3-5-1, 3-6 on the money line in the second of a back-to-back, and 4-5 are the totals, 4 overs, 5 unders there. So I do think kind of Florida is looking and starting to sell their pieces, and we'll see what more happens in the next 24 hours. But I do think that the Red Wings, especially the way that they lost in their most recent game against the Vegas Golden Knights, are going to be hungry here, especially to keep that playoff positioning. So it would be a look with the Wings here.
That's right. I get a little nervous because, I mean, at some point there is a lot of pride on this Panthers team,
Yep.
right? And I don't think that they will just completely stop playing. But that's a good point about Detroit. I mean, they had that one up 3-1 in the third, so should be very hungry trying to get this first one. And John Gibson's numbers have been very good. 257 goals against and a 906 save percentage. So that's the type of goal you'd like to back.
This minus 145 here at the South Point is also the best price in the market that you will get. Everywhere else is either 150, 155, 160 on the
Wow.
Wings. So minus 145 here at the South Point. I like the Wings to do it tonight. Keep that in mind for when these two teams meet up, because Florida, you're talking about pride, but should also be ready to punch them back in the mouth when they get back down to Florida, especially after a couple days rest. All right, we'll go to Dallas, probably the marquee game of the night, as it is the Avalanche on the road against the Stars. Avalanche are a road favorite here, minus 120, even money for the Stars. Total is the same as the last, 6, 110 both ways.
So counting before the break, Dallas has officially won 10 in a row. They've just been playing really good since coming off of the break, too. I've got Colorado minus 110 on the road. I gotta think there's value there, adding in the home streak for Dallas and then being at home, getting an even money price here. So that's the way I'm looking. I haven't fully decided yet. What are your thoughts on this big marquee game?
Yeah, I'll take the money. I'll take the even money. I'll take the win streak to continue. It is the second of 4 meetings between these two teams. Dallas did win in Colorado in a shootout, but that was back towards the beginning of October, so not much to take into account there. But these two teams are competing to be earning home ice here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So this one will be a great matchup. Also keep in mind that if you watch tonight's game, these two teams will meet up in less than 2 weeks, in 12 days. So to kind of get yourself ready for what you want to bet in that one as well. But I'll be taking a chance here, getting that even money, the plus price with the Stars.
Very good. And then, so you said Dallas is already 1-0 in this matchup so far this year. So we'll keep an eye if they do get this win here. Got to imagine the next spot would be a nice one for the Avs.
All right, we'll go to Chicago, where they are hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Canucks on the first of a back-to-back. Blackhawks -145 on the money line, +125 for the Nucks. Total is 6 with a 115 to the under.
Didn't take much time on this one. I've got Chicago -145 at home, total 6, 6.08. So a little bit to the over rather than the under there, but nothing here because, I mean, all the moves that we have seen from both of these teams. So I don't feel comfortable. I do believe Chicago has the better goalie with Spencer Knight. So I think that's already priced in there. Not a lot of value, but if you made me play it, I would definitely be going over against Vancouver, who has lost 9 straight. So not going to play it, but if I had to, it would be Chicago.
So the Nucks will be in Winnipeg tomorrow. Talking about their back-to-back numbers to keep in mind for tomorrow if you guys want to bet a game, including the Canucks tomorrow. But they are 5-4-1 on the money line in the first, or 5-4-1, 5-5 on the money line in the first of a back-to-back, 6-4 to the over. Second of a back-to-back, they are 4-3-3, so 4-6 on the money line. Totals are 5-5 though for the back-to-back situations there for the Canucks. It's the third of 3 meetings this year between these two teams. The road team has won both of the games early this year, middle of October, October 17th. Vancouver won 3-2 in a shootout here in Chicago. Then the Blackhawks got their revenge in Vancouver 5-2, but that was just under 3 weeks later, November the 5th. So 4 months ago were those 2 games. So not a whole lot there. The Hawks have been trading guys, have had guys leaving the room. And so the young guys that have to step up and now get used to the business of things, we'll see how that kind of takes an effect mentally. However, I pointed out the Canucks numbers in back-to-back situations. That the back-to-back situation seems to be the best time that they play hockey, as they are 500, above 500 in the point situation in the first of a back-to-back, above 500 in the point situation in the second of a back-to-back, 4-6 on the money line though in the second. So I would tend to think that this game will be close. Lean to the under there, as that's what the price is also looking at. But yeah, this one, 2 bad teams right now. We'll kind of see how things change as both are in their rebuilds. The Nucks much more at the beginning of theirs, but the Blackhawks picking up picks. So we'll see how it goes. Yep. But this is going to end up being a stay away from me. So. All right, we'll go to Anaheim. First of a back-to-back here for the Montreal Canadiens. But the Canadiens, this is a pick 'em, -110 on the money line both ways. And 6.5 is the total with a 135 to the over.
I don't hate that, even at 6.5 here, but yeah, we did get there with Montreal the other night, going over that 6.5 on the road too. So I've got it 7.05. So I'm even higher than that juiced 6.5. I do have the Ducks -115 at home. Trend-wise, nothing crazy here. I guess Canadians are on a 3 straight over trend, but medians, both of these teams, 4 goals for and 3 goals against. So looking at the over, maybe there's some better numbers out there than that -135, but nothing else really in this matchup. What about you?
The lone better price would be a -125. There are -140s and 45s to the over in the market. So
wow.
Yeah, there is a ton of potential for offense in this game, as both teams are feeling really good. It is the first of 2 meetings between these 2 teams. These 2 teams will meet up not this Sunday, but next Sunday, which I will make the mention now. That is Selection Sunday for the March Madness tournament. So we will be doing a live show that Sunday to give you the first odds that come out really for the whole bracket here at the South Point. So keep that in mind, as we will be live on the weekend on Selection Sunday, about an hour through the reveal show to kind of make sure that we get the opening odds and have those for you guys. But going back to hockey here with the Montreal Canadiens and Anaheim Ducks. Montreal in the first of a back-to-back, 6-3-1 this year, 6-4 on the money line, 4-6 to the under, 4 over 6 unders there. Second of a back-to-back, so looking at tomorrow's game against the Kings for the Canadiens. They are 5-3-2, 5-5 on the money line, and 6-4 to the over. So I would like the Canadians here. I know that the Ducks are playing well. They did just make a trade acquisition for the best defender from the Washington Capitals, but I doubt he'll be playing tonight. So tend to think, yeah, we'll be getting goals just very juicy there at that 6.5.
Plus, we've only seen Sam Mountabo once since the break, and that one did go over too against the Islanders, 4-3 there, and then one time early February. But before that, I mean, it has been a while for him. So I think that's not a bad way to play it. Or maybe even if you like the Canadians, looking at their team total, that's the right side. But I guess that's more against Dostal.
Okay.
But
all right, we got a slight road favorite here up in Edmonton, where the Carolina Hurricanes are on the first of a back-to-back. Minus 115 for their money line, minus 105 for the Oilers. Total is 6.5, minus 135 to the over.
dang, I guess I would lean to the under here. I've got 6.6, so I'm 6.5, really just flat there, minus 110, and that one is juice too. So if you could get a plus price going under here, it will be Brandon Bussey and should be Tristan Jarry is what I am seeing. Yeah. So trust in both goalies, maybe a slow start for both of them. My numbers really are Edmonton minus 102, so I'm right there on the side. I guess I'd lean more to the Oilers being a favorite at home, but nothing there. I might take a shot here, taking plus 115 for this to be a lower scoring game between these two.
There is a 7 in the market with a minus 145 to the under there, so not getting a plus price. But if you want the plus price, it would be the under 6.5, getting the plus 115 here at the South Point. All right, going to San Jose. Where
Nothing for you in that one.
That one will also be just one to watch. But they won't meet up in the next two, but that's two teams that are competing to be the top of their conference. The Oilers getting their new pieces in. Canes kind of struggling to start this road trip. Really, they're on the back half of the road trip now. But yeah, this is just one to watch for me.
Yeah.
All right, going to San Jose, where the Blues are on the road. This is the first meeting between these two teams. St. Louis getting plus 110 on their money line. Sharks laying a minus 130. 6 is the total with a 115 to the over.
Wow. I do have the Sharks a little bit higher here, minus 150 at home against the Blues, but I've been down on the Blues, and they've actually played better than expected. This is the first of a back-to-back for San Jose, so Ryan, numbers for that, because that might help dictate if I'm going to be on the Sharks or not.
So the only thing that I was able to kind of get done on the Sharks is that they're 8-2 on the first of a back-to-back. So I think I'm pretty confident here with the Sharks being able to get things done. I know that the Blues are surprising us and making us lose some tickets, but it's a look to the Sharks team that's being really, really competitive.
I like it. They're playing good. They're at home. First of a back-to-back. I like those numbers that are matching that. So, okay. I think that's a good price, minus 130. I really do. Get about a 20-cent difference.
Blues also 9-17-3, 9-20 on the money line on the road, and the Sharks are 17-10-3, so 17-13 on the money line at home. The minus 130 is good for me.
Yeah.
All right, going to the final game of the night, which is here in Las Vegas. Minnesota Wild are welcome to town, and it is a pick 'em price, minus 110 on the money lines, both sides. 6 is the total with a 120 to the over.
Well, I've got 6.5 under 12 here. So I kind of already like that over 6 between these two. I actually have the Knights minus 136 at home, but haven't really added in for any trades yet. Kind of want to see how they all play, but Minnesota looks pretty strong right now. The Knights pretty fortunate to get that overtime win the other night. So I'm not going to get involved in the side, but I think we could see some goals here. What do you think? I mean, the tough thing is Gustafsson is one of the top goalies in the league right now, but I mean, Aiden Hill has given some up, and then the Knights have been trying to match that. So look to the over for me. What about you, Ryan?
Third and final meeting of the year between these two teams. The Minnesota Wild are going for the season sweep. They've won both of the priors. They won 3-2 in overtime back in Minnesota. That was in the middle of November. And 5-2 here in Las Vegas. That was the final game of the year for the Knights here. December 30th. So both in the year of 2025. If the Knights start slow in this one, I don't think they're going to be able to pull off the comeback the way that they did against the Wings. So I'll be laying the -110 on the money line here for the Wild. Pull off the sweep.
Okay. There we have it. That is our hockey for today. Let's take a quick break. If you have any questions for any games, especially conference tournament games, because we really just have regular season games for today and tomorrow, play-wise and numbers-wise. But if you'd like to know one, please put it in the chat so we can get you that. But let's take a quick break. Let's bring Vinny in because he's very busy. We'll get him on the desk. We've got a lot to talk about with him. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We bring Vinny in, and then we go through our best bets for basketball today and tomorrow here on Sports by the Book.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here you can lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Get ready for the most massive madness party in Las Vegas. Join us March 19th through the 21st right here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. It's 3 straight days of massive video screens, massive food and drink specials, massive access to betting windows and kiosks. The only thing that's not massive is the price. Free parking and entry as always. Tip off to the madness starts right here at South Point Hotel and Casino, March 19th through the 21st.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White, alongside Ryan McCormick. Now joining us at the desk, VP of Gone Gaming, Vinny Maiulo. If you come over to the South Point, make sure you say hello to him and Chris Andrews, running it. And it's been good, right? Been a good year. You're excited about March Madness?
March Madness, yes. And let's, first of all, always good to be with you folks. Good to be with the team here in studio. You know, there was a time when March Madness was all about just the tournament, the men's tournament. But it's expanded, especially in the last several years, Alex, where not only we're getting ready for Selection Sunday, which we'll talk about more in a little bit, but you've got the conference tournaments that have gotten a lot more attention. You've got the women's tournament, which is also, their conference tournaments and the ladies tournament, with some of the great teams in recent years. I mean, obviously you have to, take into account South Carolina and what they've accomplished. Connecticut this year looking like an absolute juggernaut. But so March Madness is now a month-long party, and again, remember that when we talk about the Super Bowl being the single most wagered event here in the state, well, actually in the country, but for sustained action, it's March Madness, which really handles quite a bit more than the Super Bowl.
It's still a great few weeks for the city of Las Vegas, whether people are coming in for that first initial weekend or, to your point, a lot of groups like to come in this weekend or next weekend with the Power 5 teams and their conference tournaments.
We have conference tournaments here now,
and
right?
then
Which is great.
You could actually go to a game if you want to go to a conference tournament game.
And again, those will provide like like anything else, when the events are here in town, you can bump the handle by about 20 or 25%. I mean, people love to be in action, especially while they're here.
Definitely. And thanks to you, you had a great idea because I get to join you guys once again. It'll be my third year behind the scenes, helping you guys make lines and come up with the right numbers for the initial bracket. And then immediately after, we are going to do a live show.
Good. Yeah, I think it's a great exercise, Alex, and we're glad that, of course, I just keep throwing more things at you. People that have been watching us here. I'm really Alex's agent, and so I just keep getting her more assignments, and she's doing them. Ryan and everybody just jumping in and doing a great job. So just to get folks ready for that, Alex, on Selection Sunday, as the matchups are coming out on TV, Chris Andrews, yourself, Tony Sinisi, longtime veteran odds maker, worked with your dad for a number of years also. Tony does a terrific job, and myself, and we'll be putting our numbers together as the pairings come out, and then posting the numbers right away as they come out, and 10,000 a game at the counter, and it's a great exercise. So the first numbers for March Madness will be posted here at the South Point as they have been for the last several years, and it's a great exercise, a lot of fun, and we get ready for that great second half push.
And then
the month.
We'll have Ryan start up a show here on YouTube live, kind of his reaction to the seeding and everything. Then give the live numbers, and then hopefully you and Chris can pop in. Yeah, alternate because you guys get really busy up there.
Yeah, it does. But again, it's a lot of fun, Alex, too. And again, what we'll do is we'll talk about when Ryan's on, we'll talk about the openers and how the games have been moving. So you'll see it. And
then I know Sweet 16 for sure, and on it's a fantastic money line that you guys have going on for the sites, minus 105.
105, yeah, just like we did for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So again, when and especially with so many games and folks getting involved, I mean, saving 5 cents always adds to your bankroll.
Definitely does, and that is one of the things that we do try to teach around here and help people out. Having different outlets, shopping around, all of that very important. Okay, Vinny. Well, if you don't mind, I highlighted probably 6 games tonight and 4 for tomorrow, if there's any that you want to talk about too, but we're going to kind of just go through those and we'll get your thoughts and your opinion too. But how does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. Kind of a
Take it away,
Friday. Coach. Free Throw Friday this March 6th.
So we got the regular season finales for these teams. We'll start with Bowling Green on the road at Eastern Michigan. This is 827, 828. Bowling Green is a road favorite of 4.5, total of 141.5.
Do you know opening number, Vinny, or is that right? It's 3.5 or 4.5. It's kind of right there.
Where's your BI number, Ryan? We're
728 728 or 827. Excuse me, 828.
Bowling Green, yeah. Right now, that was the opener. You gave it 3.5, and now Bowling Green has taken money. They laid the 3.5 and the 4, and we're sitting at 4.5. So this conference tournament, we'll talk about. I'm sure that you'll want to talk, just to fast forward a little, probably about Miami, Ohio. So I have some thoughts on that and what, because there's a lot of talk about them and the success they're having this year. But again, before these are, and we're going to see it in the other conferences too, particularly in the Power 5 conferences, where these last regular season games are being played and then heading into the conference tournaments.
So, Vinny, yesterday there was one game I was very intrigued by, and I thought it was a good money line price. Let me see exactly. Sam Houston State. I'm like, okay, this team is far better. Delaware is one of the worst in the conference, but I stayed away from it. Delaware won outright because it was a very meaningful. They were trying to get into their conference tournament. With the MAC that you brought up, you got to look through every conference and how they do things. They're only taking the top 8. Eastern Michigan's already out.
Yes.
UMass kind of locked up that 8 seed just the other night. Bowling Green is still playing for their seeding.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4.5 is a reasonable number here with them on the road. So that is one that I like. And then we'll get to the other MAC school that we have to talk about that is in action tonight.
All right, going to the next one in rotation number order, 829830. VCU on the road at Dayton. Dayton is a 1.5-point home favorite now, and a total of 147.5.
But Dayton's trying to make a push here too, right? I mean, this is where current form really comes into play with teams, and we're going to see some teams, some of the smaller conferences like this, or some of the mid majors, and it's even in some of the bigger conferences, right? So, kind of desperation time for a lot of schools. But this game here, Dayton's holding steady as a 1.5-point favorite. There has not been a lot of movement on this game. This is a 4:00 start too, so I think what also from a betting standpoint, what we tend to see is when you've got games going on, folks will wait a little bit. But we'll see it more so in the conference tournament games, right? Bet the game, wait for it to end, and then get to the next one. But this here, a lot of these plays came in early, and then they'll come in this afternoon.
I put this one on the list, Vinny, because, we've become pretty accustomed for the last, 4 or 5 years of seeing VCU and Dayton at the top of the Atlantic 10. This year, kind of a surprise with St. Louis, but you're right. These two really trying to make a push here. Dayton has a nice little win streak, 6 in a row. Their last loss was against VCU. So I like them to split the regular season with them. I think 1.5 is a fair number, but I might just take a -125. Just win outright here at home in their last home game.
And you mentioned, St. Louis, who's kind of slipped. They were another team that was really, really getting a lot of attention, particularly in futures, right, with their price. And we'll talk a little bit about why their prices are still pretty good to teams like St. Louis and Miami O.
Yep.
Well, you mentioned Miami O, so we will go back to Maction. Miami, Ohio, going for the 31-0 regular season on the road at Ohio. Miami is a 5.5-point road favorite, total of 159.5.
So let's talk about, man. I mean, again, this game, that the Bobcats are home here, right? And they're going to look to break this streak, right? Does Miami O deserve to get? There are people saying that, do they get an automatic bid because of their record? Well, you can't ignore their record, but you also have to delve into their record and look at the fact that, you can't compare this, with all due respect, this schedule that they have compared to, the Power 5 conferences and those schedules, right? Listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Miami O for what they've accomplished this year. Do they need do they have an automatic bid? I hate to say it. They're probably going to need some more success, not just tonight, but I'm talking about when they get to their conference tournament. Because when you look at the power rating, again, polls don't determine prices. When you look at their power rating compared to somebody, a team in the middle of the Big Ten or the Big 12, it's not even close, right? So this is a game where, okay, they're going to be focused. They're going to look to run the table. Ohio's going to look to ruin, in their minds, ruin that perfect run.
Right.
I suspect that there'll be some earlier money, even though it hasn't moved yet. There'll be money on Ohio in this game, and I wouldn't be shocked if we need the favorite. I don't know if there'll be that much buyback.
I completely agree. I think people will definitely be taking the points here. Miami, Ohio, both of their last 2 games were pretty fortunate, and they got the win against Western Michigan by 2, and then Toledo by 2. Now, Toledo is a much better team than Ohio, but, just the familiarity and the rivalry-ness.
Yep.
So I think people will be taking the points. I'm going to stay away. I'd like to see the Redhawks go undefeated here in the regular season, 31-0, and I'd like to stir it up, make it a little interesting to see what the committee decides to do, because no matter what, it is tough to win that many games in a row. And now you see it. I mean, they're getting everybody's best effort trying to play spoiler here in the MAC. But
tough on the road, too. So, for sure.
So nothing for me in that one, but
maybe in-game.
Maybe
Alex,
in-game.
you could watch,
Yeah.
a little. There was a lot of in-game opportunity. Well, there's always in-game opportunities every day. But we had a little, I would call it industry poker game last night. And in between hands, there was a lot of in-game action taking place.
hopefully not on Michigan or Michigan State, because they didn't cover, and you're thinking, okay, any minute they're gonna turn it on now.
Right.
But okay. Next,
Going to the very next one on the board, St. John's on the road at Seton Hall. The Red Storm, 4.5 on the road, 136 is the total here at the South Point.
So no movement here yet either. Some movement to the under, and I think that is that's just a byproduct of a tough game. Seton Hall trying to find a groove as to get ready for the Big East tournament. St. John's, boy, I'll tell you what, struggled early in the season, as we know, compared to their expectations. Then they got on that great run, the terrific win a couple of last month at the Garden against Connecticut, and then they go up to Stores, and look what happened. So how did that impact their psyche? Big-time reality check and a reminder that Connecticut is extremely dangerous. But getting back to this game here, again, life tough on the road. I think that points are at a premium at this point, this time of year, particularly for home dogs.
yeah. That makes it tough, though, Vinny, because 17-2 in conference play, both
Yeah.
St. John's and UConn. So
Yeah.
they do have a shot to at least have a share of the regular season, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
UConn has Marquette up next, and they are also on the road. So not an easy game for either of them. St. John's won by 5 in the first one at home against Seton Hall. I don't know. I thought this was a pretty short price for them, but I'm not going to get involved. Like you said, the last home game, you're probably looking for more dogs at home to get
A lot
the
of
cover.
pride here. A lot of guys that, when you look at these two teams geographically, there's a lot of players on these teams that when they were in high school and AAU ball were either teammates or opponents, and now they're kind of intermixed, right? So a lot of this is a pretty big rivalry. It doesn't get the same rivalry play as, say, St. John's and Connecticut in recent years, but make no mistake, this is there's a lot of pride involved in this matchup.
Good point, Vinny. I do like the under. Seton Hall being at home, being the slower paced team, it's going to try and dictate the pace. And the first one was a very low scoring game, both in the 60s there. So, if you made me play it, I would just go total there for that one.
Okay, we got one more regular season finale before we have a request for a game in one of the conference tournaments tonight. But we'll go to the Running Rebels on the road at San Diego State. The Rebels catching 10 at San Diego State, and total 153.5.
Rebels coming off a pretty big couple of wins, right, Alex? Right, the alma mater, but San Diego State. Listen, the Rebels are I should say, the Aztecs are a deserved double-digit favorite here, but the Rebels, they surprised folks in the last couple of games. So. Again, current form.
Yeah.
Points at a premium. The over in this game has been played, not the game itself just yet. So about a 1.5 to 2 point move to the over. Not a real surprise. This figures to be an up-tempo game.
Yes. UNLV with some home revenge. I watched that full game. That was at the Thomas and Mack where they lost 82-71. Really just couldn't get their rhythm, and I feel like the Aztecs have kind of held that over them and been able to do that. It was also SDSU's main player, who's one of the best in the Mountain West. Let me get his name. Miles Bird. It was one of his best games of the year. So matchup problem for the Rebels, but you're right. I think they're playing really good and good team ball. So I like the 10. I was thinking first half, though. Might split up my unit size here. We can get 6 here at the South Point.
Yes, they did. They did bet San Diego State initially in the first half, not in
Okay.
the game. So if you can get 6, you're going to get the best of the number because it did open 5.
I guess UNLV is a little bit better second half because they don't go away.
But-
So maybe that's a good point. That might be why people are coming in on SDSU first half. All right, I'm going to go full game here. Rebels cover. And SDSU's lost 4 of their last 5. I don't know what's going on with their team, but they've had some struggles.
They've laid the price too on the money line, even though they haven't laid the 10. But this game's up to $6, and it opened at $4.75. So that's on straight bets and in parlays as well. San Diego State getting a lot of attention in multi-legs.
Like I just mentioned about St. John's. I mean, SDSU is 1 game back from Utah State, who has New Mexico tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So they are playing for seeding here.
Yeah, that was going to be the one thing that I pointed out. If San Diego State wins this game, they need Utah State to win tomorrow against New Mexico in order to move up to the 2 seed. If New Mexico beats Utah State, San Diego State will end up staying the 3. But UNLV also playing for seeding, as you see that they are tied with 3 other teams to maximize that 4 to 8 seed range. So both teams playing for some really key seeding here in this Mountain West tournament.
Coaches will downplay seeding publicly, but internally, trust me, and the players pay very close attention to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No doubt.
All right, well, we go from hypothetical conference talk to one conference tournament that is underway, and we'll be playing the second meeting tonight in the Southern Conference, which is being the neutral site in Asheville, North Carolina. But it was a request from Attila talking about VMI versus UNC Greensboro. So Greensboro, this is 8-6-1, 8-6-2. Greensboro, a 7.5 point home favorite on the court.
Yeah.
But 154.5 is the total.
So our numbers actually come to 5.5 and 155. So a lean there to take in VMI with the points. Want to see how they've been. I mean, Greensboro is really good ATS on the year, 21 and 8. That makes me a little bit nervous. Not as good, I guess you'd say, at home, and that shouldn't really count. 5 and 7, but
Love Attila. I see him every week too. He's great. He comes in the book and he's loyal listener and follower and does his homework. They did lay the 7 with us.
wow.
And then they bet the game under so far. So it's down a full point on the total. But Greensboro getting the early betting attention so far, and not really surprised about that either. So, I mean, easier trip for sure.
Did you hear about the Missouri Valley unders that have been hitting? They've been in the conference tournament. They're on a pretty nice little streak here. Ryan, did you see any of that?
Yeah, I believe it's now 20 and 6 in the last I forget how many years, but yeah, unders in that Missouri Valley Conference have been really well.
Did I hear about it? Yeah, at the counter. Yeah, quite loudly. Good for them. Good for the players. That's all right.
I would just be cautious on today's games. I know they say it's just how they play and match up, but I mean, some of these teams are pretty good offensively, so it makes me a little nervous. But
We do have JR letting us know some trends in the chat. So talking about that UNC Greensboro game, they are 21 and 8 to the over this year.
wow,
They are also 11 and 18 against the spread. But compare that to VMI against the spread, who is 9 and 19 against the spread this year. Tough one to pick on that against the spread number. But the over for UNCG, 21 and 8.
This game we may see this total may go back up though, based on that.
Okay.
thank you. JR is actually correct. That is 21 and 8 to the over. I said that was their ATS number, but that is incorrect. So thank you, JR, for that.
All right, going to some look aheads tomorrow. Got some regular season finales planned for conference positioning. And we'll start in the ACC, where Louisville is on the road. Louisville is on the road at Miami, Florida. This is 6-4-5, 6-4-6, and it looks like in the market we've got Louisville as a -1.5 road favorite. Total 156.5 to 157.5.
Haven't seen. They haven't played this year, right? I mean, I don't think. I think this is the first matchup for these two this season. Again, sometimes there's imbalance in this because of the expansion of the conferences, so it's
Right.
not like every team is going to be home and home. Again, Louisville relying on the perimeter game. If their perimeter game is on, then they're as dangerous as any team in the conference. But Miami is coming on. I mean, listen, this is I know that Louisville's a road favorite here. I would not be shocked though if I think there's going to be money showing for Miami in this game.
Yep.
I really do, and it wouldn't surprise me if they close as a slight favorite.
Vinny, well, yeah, I'm going to take the points here
Yeah.
with Miami at home. I do think that they are closer than people think, and Miami could be a 1 point home
Yeah.
favorite. So jump in now if you agree, because that's why I put this on the list. I thought you could get some good value with that home team there.
All right, going to the next one in the SEC, talking about the number 5 team in the country, Florida, on the road at Kentucky. Kentucky looking to get revenge as Florida won the early matchup this year. But this in the market looks like it's a 6.5, 7.5 road favorite with Florida. Total 156. Wow, that's a big difference on the total. 156 to 159.5.
Up tempo. Both teams like to get up and down the court, and Florida. Boy, I'll tell you what. A month ago, people were talking about would they even make the tournament, and now they're playing as good as anybody in the country. Defending champs. They have a presence up front. They're shooting well. Kentucky, they're playing for their tournament bid lives, and really that's the reality of it. I know they're in the SEC. They've had trouble finishing games. I think the game at Florida was an example of that. When they played in I think it was early middle of February, and this is a team that has clearly underachieved. Now I know that Kentucky's lost a couple of players, but they still have a great deal of talent. I mean, they have if I'm not mistaken, they have the. This is going to sound funny, right? Compared to a few years ago, they have the highest payroll in college basketball, and it's. And, I mean, let's call it what it is, right? But they figured to be in a much better position. I know they lost their point guard early on, and they've not even really recovered from that. Florida playing as good as anybody in the country, and a team that is capable of winning it all.
You're right, Vinny. They are definitely the more desperate team. Florida looks so good. You kind of hesitate to get in front of that wagon, but I mean, if you can get enough points, I think that's the right side. High scoring game the first time though, 92-83, and you're right. Dead center in February 14th was that matchup. I like the over, and Ryan said shop around. If there's 156.5, I'd love that. So anywhere to about 159. I think this will probably get over 160 tomorrow, don't you? Just over money coming in.
No, this will be. There's not going to be a lot of defense in this game.
So it's an overlook. Just don't get the worst of the number tomorrow if you're looking for it.
Yeah, the 156.5 looks like it's over at DK. There is a 157 that's with the merchandise brand, and the 159.5 is with FanDuel. So going to that one, as well as North Carolina Duke and BYU Texas, are featured in both our poll for our viewers today and our post for our viewers today. So you can pick which team completes the sweep, winning both regular season meetings. That is our post, linked in the description of today's video, or who avoids getting swept. That is our poll today. So Duke, BYU, Kentucky looking to avoid getting swept. Carolina, Texas Tech, Florida looking to do the sweeping, but all on the road. Okay, going to the next one, 663, 664. This is New Mexico on the road at Utah State. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Super key for this Mountain West tournament. If Utah State wins, they are the 1. New Mexico's the 2. New Mexico wins, then we've got some tie-breaking scenarios. So doesn't look like we have a look ahead in the market. So what are you looking at with your numbers here, Alex?
Well, so I was looking what Ken Palm made it. Looks like they have Utah State winning by 5. Going off of that number, because you're going to add in a little home revenge for New Mexico here, who lost at home earlier this year. Pretty bad, 86-66. I'm excited about this game. Both of these teams coming off a loss. Utah State to UNLV, New Mexico to Colorado State. So potentially it was a look ahead for them getting ready for this one. I'm going to be taking the points. If it's at least 5 with New Mexico, I think it's going to be a tighter game there. So looking to take 5 there.
You may get a little bit more than that, though, Alex, too, because I think when you add in the home, even though, know, the loss and, the home or the road victory, I mean, it's still home. And again, Utah State the Rebels beat them bad. I mean, they beat them pretty convincingly, right? So, and again, both teams obviously in a look ahead spot there for this one. But I think that there's times to shot. You want to always know what the look ahead numbers are and the early numbers, but you try to anticipate. I think this is going to probably come a little bit higher.
Okay.
I would probably add another maybe 5.5 or 6 or so. You might get a little more. So,
well, and
I mean,
I could see people coming in on Utah State too. So,
and then there'll be some buyback, I
6 or
think,
7,
on the Lobos probably. But I think it would not shock me if this game will come a little bit higher.
And I don't remember the first one. So, what New Mexico was at home, that would be. Should have looked into that too.
We can pull it up there. Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll go back up and so we'll be looking at our numbers when I go back with Chris and everything, and comparing and putting these up tonight. And
you guys.
I think it'll come a little bit higher.
Okay. Well, good. I'm
You're looking for points.
Looking for points. The most I can get there. Okay, one more, Ryan, and then we do have a couple more that we can just quickly talk through. But there's one more that I really like with the home revenge.
Okay. I'm trying to go back to that New Mexico San Diego State result earlier in the year.
February 4th.
Yeah.
I guess I could get there too. What am I talking about?
Looks like UNM was closed a 1.5 here at South Point, and 157 was the total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, them
so
just a 1 point favorite.
Power rated higher. That's the other part. Power rated much higher. Are Utah State.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so looking for 5.5, 6.5 for that one.
Going to the Big Ten here, where Purdue is looking to pull off the sweep, but they are at home, so they got a little easier task with the home crowd. Wisconsin on the road. This is 671, 672. Looks like we've got 6.5 in the market for the home team. Total 157.5.
Vinny, I don't know where you are with Purdue right now, but I mean, I know they've had a tough schedule, both Michigan's, and then Ohio State was a crazy upset. But
yeah, Ohio State's playing better right now.
Yes, they are.
So is Wisconsin, actually. I mean, Wisconsin obviously relies on the perimeter game. I'm not sold on Purdue. I've not been sold on Purdue all year. I'm not taking anything away from them. I think they're a good team, but I think that there are teams in the Big Ten that I like much better than them, including both Michigan schools. This year, I mean, Purdue did win convincingly at Wisconsin at the beginning of January. I mean, they won and covered. I mean, they won by double digits.
89-73.
So I think Wisconsin can do better here. I think there's going to be money for Purdue in this game. We're probably going to need the Badgers in this one. Would you say, Ryan, 6? I make the game about 6.5, maybe 7 even. But yeah, I mean, again, desperate times for teams. Purdue's going to get a bid. Badgers, one of those bubble schools, right? And also playing for their seeding. The Big Ten tournament, if I'm not mistaken, it's changed again, the format. And Ryan, you can probably verify. I think the top 4 seeds have at least a double or a triple bye?
Triple
Bye, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
So the seeding is, when there's a triple bye, Man, I mean, you think a double bye is strong, but a triple bye?
Right.
Wow.
So right now it is Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, and Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue and Wisconsin both 13-6, trying to get to that 4 seed. Illinois and Nebraska both have pretty easy matchups, though. I shouldn't say that, because Nebraska does have Iowa. They could.
I was going to say, yeah,
they could be
tough grinding team, right? Iowa, although Iowa coming off a really tough game last night, so
yes,
right against Michigan State.
But I'm with you. I think Wisconsin can do much better this go around.
Shooting the
against
ball
Purdue.
pretty well.
I'll take the
lately.
points there.
Yeah.
So that's New Mexico points, Wisconsin points. Looking at the over in that Kentucky, Florida. And then one more did I have? Well, Vandy has home revenge too against Tennessee, but how that number's looking, I think it's right. It's probably going to be like Tennessee 4.
4.5 maybe? Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough that I want to get, unless you want to just take a shot with Vandy on the money line, but they have had their injuries, so.
Yeah. Again, can look at the end game, and
Yep.
you got a lot of choices too anymore. And that's the other thing about what's made March so much better too, is the fact that the expanded betting menu of, first halves and of course always at half times, but the end game as well. I mean, it's really it's a buyer's market. So
Yes. And then I was looking, I'm like, I can't believe I skipped Michigan and Michigan State. But that is Sunday, March 8th.
that game is yes.
Yeah, the Big Ten goes to Sunday.
So we'll have a very good Sunday matchup as well. So
And that one is that game. Michigan won pretty convincingly. They pulled away at Michigan State in that game back at the end of January. So, although something, Michigan State's responded since that loss and played very well. So, yeah, that's going to be a fun game. I think that's going to be.
Vinny, you've got the timeline so well with when these teams played. Do you remember something like, okay, middle of February, where was I? Or it was, it's really very impressive there. It was January 30th that these two played.
I tried to in my mind keep track of what happens, not just the results of the games, but kind of what springboards or works against a team too. I pay a lot of attention to situational things, emotion, things like that. I don't know. It's you could probably call it a sickness. I mean, yeah, that's my wife just looks and she's what? Just yeah. So yeah.
No, it's a gift. That's pretty incredible.
Just try to keep track of it.
Okay, football though, really quick. We did just want to touch on because some books are already putting out some win totals and things like that, but we haven't even. I mean, we still have players.
Yes.
That are being released, free agency, a lot of things going on. So
free agency, I think it begins next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. The new season, the football year.
Yeah.
Listen, every operator does things according to what works for them, and there are a lot of or several outlets that are putting out NFL regular season wins. But what and Chris is always, we've been in sync on this for years. It doesn't have to be a race, right? I mean, there's still some major factors that you want to take into consideration. I mean, every team knows their opponents for next year, right? But what we don't know is the sequence of the games, which could mean something. There's going to be more international games next year than anything. And remember last year we talked about travel. And it was the Chargers, I believe, that had the most lengthy travel. Well, this coming year, I think it's going to be the 49ers. In fact, the 49ers, I think, are going to set a record for miles traveled this coming year. They're going to Australia and Mexico City included in their regular schedule. So I want to see the sequence of games and the schedule of games. I think. We talked about free agency. There's some major free agent signings that are going to take place or trades, right? Those will be more important than than the draft. But the draft is still impactful because what deals get done around the draft as well. You know, if the Raiders decide to for instance, trade that number 1 pick
Right.
for really a boatload of additional picks, you have to pay attention to that. Obviously, I think it's safe to say that Max Crosby's going to go somewhere. What do the Raiders get for him? And what does he do? He greatly impacts a team that he's going to go to defensively. So look at last year. You know, what kind of got lost a lot last year, I think, is the Patriots, what they did in free agency in getting quality veteran free agents that really, came together and played very well under Vrabel's coaching. So I like to, as does Chris, put those factors into the equation, and then come up with a more solid, a more accurate regular season win total for teams.
Patriots and the Seahawks, really.
Seahawks, yeah. Seahawks did well
Pretty.
too. Look at Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Hello. Forget about that. So
Both of the teams make it. So, do not fault you guys at all for that. And, I mean, people that are betting should kind of tread lightly, too.
And listen, it's March Madness, too. So it's we'll do plenty of business. And, again, it's not a critique. Listen, anybody can do it. And if you're out there betting, go shop it. Take a look at the numbers.
True.
And then try to anticipate what you think certain teams may or may not do and how those numbers are going to move.
Very true. Yeah, looking for
sure.
CLV.
Go. I'm not saying don't go shop it. Go by all means. Take a look at it.
There is one tournament that you guys have odds up for that starts tomorrow. And I was just...
Big Sky.
I was comparing my dad's power ratings.
We got the Big Sky and the West Coast.
And the West Coast. West Coast, yes.
Here in town at the Orleans.
But I did notice a little difference here. So I'm just going to say, if anybody is shopping around there, where Idaho, he's got 4th on his power ratings, and you can get double digit, 10-1?
12. I think it went down to, I think somebody took, probably your dad. He took that 12. Good for your dad. Good for Kenny.
So 12 or 10, shop around for that too. But I might take a little piece of that too and see if they can make a run. I mean, Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado, they are the top.
Portland State.
State.
Pay attention to Portland State again. But look, conference tournaments. Look for prices. Look at how the brackets are set up and things like that. Take into account the regular season or recent meetings too, and how, how teams are current form is extremely valuable at this time of year.
Brian, anything else for Vinny, or you want to hit our poll results and our trivia question and all of that?
Sure. Just the two kind of things to mention on the football front. Good for the NFC North. Good for my Bears. Rashawn Gary will no longer be a Green Bay Packer. And the Lions left tackle Taylor Decker requested his release after contract negotiations kind of stalled. So the Lions will be missing another offensive lineman.
Yes.
Maybe both come into the Bears because the Bears now need offensive line help, and they've got the familiarity with Ben Johnson. But that's just a different.
Brian's been on the phone with Ben Johnson all week.
All right, talking about our post today, looking at teams looking to avoid the sweep here in college basketball. In the regular season finales. So it would be Duke at home against North Carolina, BYU at home against Texas Tech, or Kentucky at home against Florida. And 81% of you say that the 15 to 17 point home favorites there with the Cameron Crazies and the Dukies there.
Big number.
In Durham are able to avoid the revenge. That game does not matter for the ACC tournament seeding, but it does matter for the Tobacco Road rivalry. Just want to mention that no team in the history of college basketball has beaten more number one seeds, number one overall teams in the country than the North Carolina Tar Heels. 14 times they've taken down the number one team in the country. 8 of those 14 would be these Blue Devils. So just to keep that in mind, you might.
Well, and the injuries for the Tar Heels are certainly coming into play since that win at the buzzer at Chapel Hill. So I'm glad you brought up that number because that's people are going to say, well, it's that rivalry. It's it's a big double-digit number with all the points factors you mentioned, Ryan.
Yeah, Caleb Wilson he's still a game time decision. We don't know if he's 100% back healthy. Again, no real reason to have him in this game as Carolina's locked into the 4 seed.
Yep.
Keep in mind that if these two teams win their first, they both get a double bye here in the ACC tournament as they are top 4 seed. As long as they both win their first game in ACC tournament, they will meet up next Friday again in the ACC tournament. So that one to keep in mind as well.
Ryan, that's a good point for one of my plays tomorrow. Is this game kind of meaningless for Miami as well?
I believe Miami is locked into the 3.
Take into account.
Yes, because they beat SMU. Yes, they are locked into the 3.
13-4, a game ahead. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, going to today's ticker trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Gave you another true or false question, another one in the WBC World Baseball Classic for you guys today. True or false? There are limits established for how many pitches a pitcher can throw per game in each round of the World Baseball Classic. We did have several guesses. JR went with true because someone else went with false. And JR was correct by saying true. Each round of the World Baseball Classic has set pitching limits per pitcher per game. The limits are as follows. In the qualifying round, 85 is your maximum amount of pitches. First round, 65. Second round, 80. And in the championship round, you can throw a maximum of 95. So JR spots today's ticker trivia, whether it be the 50-50 chance and getting lucky. But JR, correct answer of true in today's ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine.
Good.
Very
well
good.
done, JR.
And JR should be here, I think, next week. So we'll get to see him here at the South Point with a friend that is in town. So, okay, last but not least, plays for tonight, plays for tomorrow. Vinny, anything else from you?
No, just always good to be here. Good job for the both of you and the crew. Keep it going.
And we usually get you every other week, but next week, no show Friday because we will be getting ready for the Sunday show. So we will get you back-to-back weeks next week for Selection Sunday. And then right after Selection Sunday, it gets crazy here. We have the most massive madness party here at the South Point Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Free parking, free entry, all the great stuff.
Yep.
Beverage, food deals, and most importantly, bedding windows everywhere.
Throughout the property, wherever we have the games, they'll be bedding close by. And then when we have the event center and the ballrooms open, Alex, by the way, brush up on your free throw shooting out there as well for prizes. Yes, there'll be wagering stations up there too. It's a great time. We've done it the last couple of years, right? And it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is a lot of fun. Last year I was relieved because I got to help Sally and announce that it was time to get lined up, so I didn't have to embarrass myself trying to shoot. So I was working, but Ryan will be trying to win some prizes, and probably Sean. I imagine Sean's probably pretty good at basketball.
He says because I'm tall.
Yes, he did play volleyball though.
It's all right. That's good.
Yeah.
Drew Dog might be a little sneaky there.
Drew Dog
and Vince can make some free throws. So yeah, we might put the squad up against some folks there.
Okay.
A little side action.
Perfect. And Ann will be there too. So
That's right.
So let's get her on the team as well. And Jerry. So, okay, Ryan, start us off with your bets today. I really struggled to find some on the ice. So I've got one. What about you?
We got 3. It is the most minus prices you've seen on my board in a while. But 3 in the NHL and then 1 looking at tomorrow. Christian, for you specifically. The Detroit Red Wings, minus 145 on the money line at home against the Florida Panthers. All the home teams here in the NHL. The Stars getting even money there against the Avalanche. The Sharks laying a minus 130 against the Islanders. And then there is a 17 in town. The highest price I can get at the moment there with Carolina against Duke and Christian. No Duke, go Heels.
I would be looking.
Sorry.
I'd probably be looking for a first half with North Carolina. Keep it close. But I can't fault you. 17's a lot of points for that rivalry game for sure. Okay, so mine, I'm with Ryan here with San Jose. Sharks keep it going. Minus 130. I think that's a good price for them at home. I'm laying the points at Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan. Season pretty much done. Bowling Green playing for seeding. So minus, minus 3.5. I think it's 4 now. 4.5.
Yes.
UCF. We didn't talk about this one, but I do like Central Florida. I think West Virginia is a little fraudulent, and they've lost a couple games. They have a big win over BYU, who wasn't at full strength. So I like Central Florida getting 3.5. Is that the best number? Maybe some 4s, 3.5. And then UNLV, I'm taking the points here with the Rebels, one of the hottest teams right now in the Mountain West. So I'm going to ride with it against SDSU. And then tomorrow, I took Miami off, but I am going New Mexico against Utah State. Best numbers you can get. And I'm going Wisconsin against Purdue, taking the points for those two. Good. So that is it for us for this Friday. Done. Vinny, a lot of fun. Thank you for staying with us.
Great job, everybody.
For going through all those games. It was a blast because we haven't got to do that yet this year. So anything else from our producer before we get out of here?
By the time we are back on the air on Monday, we will have 5 conference champions, 5 automatic bids into the NCAA tournament. That would be from the Ohio Valley Conference, the Atlantic Sun, the Big South, the Missouri Valley Conference, and the Summit League. So we are in one of the best times of the year, only getting started. So I got to keep in mind that the most massive madness party here in Las Vegas is March 19th through the 21st here at the South Point. You got some massive screens, betting kiosks, free parking, free admission, great food and drink trails. So you're going to want to be here the 19th through the 21st.
And don't forget the Selection Sunday show.
That's right.
First numbers coming out.
We will have that on our YouTube channel, probably middle of the week next week, so you can bookmark it and be ready for that Sunday. So thank you, everybody in the chat. I guess we missed JR. He was here this week. I'm sorry, but said he should be back during March Madness. But we appreciate all of his trends in there. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Ryan.
Well,
thank you to the crew. Doing a great job behind the scenes. And Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Andrew. I'm Alex White. Have a great weekend. Cash some tickets, and we'll see you again Monday here. Same place, same time on Sports by the Book.